All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the God Next podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Baldwin, my co-host, Donovan Moore.
Yes, sir.
And I know you see the new platform we got going on, man. New background, all of that, man. We're trying some new stuff out. Yeah, man. Welcome to another edition. So today, man, we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs. We're going to be going through each of the matchups so far and just picking up, picking who we think will win the matchup and who's going to win the finals, basically. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
And without further ado, let's get into it.
You ready, Playboy?
Yo, turn it up, Slay. I can't hear nothing.
All right, man. So today on the docket, man, we got some. You can start out with the. You want to do West or East first?
It doesn't matter. It's solid matchups on both sides. Solid matchups on both sides.
All right, so we're gonna start on the West side, I guess.
Okay.
All right, let's do the West first. All right, so we got the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Memphis Grizzlies coming in. This is definitely one of the better matchups that I saw. It's a lot of young guys on both sides. Both teams already have a lot of playoff experience. So, who's your pick for this series, Dono, and how many games?
I'm still gonna rock with Memphis here. You gotta go with the hot team. They had a very solid regular season, and they did it with and without John Morant in some games. So Memphis is definitely a very very tough team. But they're gonna give them a run for their money. So I feel like this series can definitely go 6 to 7. At the minimum, this series is going 6 games in my opinion. Minnesota's a very solid young team. They got some nice young pieces on their team, but I think at the end that home court advantage is what's going to give Memphis the edge.
For me, man, I think I'm gonna rock with the Timberwolves here. Just because I think that they have more talent than the Grizzlies. I've been on record already saying throughout the year that I think the Grizzlies have definitely overperformed their record. I think that their roster to me doesn't really match up that well with the Timberwolves. I mean, you got Steven Adams guarding Karl Anthony Towns, who I think Karl Anthony Towns healthy, probably the third best big in the NBA. Let me see who else. They got D'Angelo Russell, who's a former All-Star. You got Anthony Edwards, who's a rising star in the NBA right now. Those are all second and first round picks. You know what I'm saying? The John Morant team, of course they got John Morant. Of course, he's second overall pick. But other than that, you got some like lottery guys, some guys that didn't really pan out. Like we didn't think that they were going to pan out. Tyus Jones, just kind of like, kind of good guys. They're not really great or anything like that. So I'm gonna rock with the Timberwolves for that one personally, and I think it's gonna go 6 or 7 games. I'm gonna say 6.
Yeah,
out on a limb here. Next, we're gonna start with the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets. It's already 2-0 as of right now. I'm gonna say sweep here. I'm gonna go with the sweep. Get your brooms out.
I think it could definitely. I think it could definitely go 5 games. It'll go 5 games at the max. Try to give Jokic a little bit of respect, but the Warriors, they're looking dangerous right now. They're looking like the Golden State Warriors that we've been accustomed to seeing before the injuries and all that stuff these last few years. And their new small ball lineup, they call him PTSD, man. Poole, Steph, Clay. Who else is in there, man? Draymond, Wiggins. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. So the Warriors, I feel like they're my favorite to come out of the West. So they're going to be dangerous. I'll give the Nuggets a game just to try to give Jokic a little bit of respect, but this series isn't going too far.
I mean, I definitely agree. I think Jordan Poole is probably the only other thing just to talk about here. Jordan Poole has been amazing for them so far in the playoffs. It's a lot of young guys just showing out right now. I mean, it shows you that the NBA is in good hands going forward. So, definitely wish the best for him, and I hope he can keep it up throughout the playoffs. Next up, we got the Mavericks and the Jazz. The Jazz dropped a crucial one last night. Jalen Brunson with 41, 8 and 5. That man came to hoop that day. Spencer Dinwiddie also. He was all right. He didn't really show up to hoop that way. He was all right though.
He did a little something.
Series is now 1-1. I've been on record also saying the Jazz are frauds, man. I don't believe in the Jazz. I never have. I mean, they've had the number 1 seed, been the best team in the NBA some of these years, and just playoffs start and they fold. So yeah, I'm gonna rock with I mean, it depends on if Luka comes back, though. Definitely, I think that I'm hearing that he might come back game 3, game 4, right around there. So, I mean, if they can keep extending the series and winning some games, I think that it's definitely going to help. And then if Luka comes back, I think they're going to win. So, how you feel?
Um, I'm gonna take the Jazz in this series only because we've seen with injuries like Luka has the calf strain. Teams are normally very cautious with those. Like for instance, when Golden State rushed him back, he ultimately, unfortunately, tore his Achilles with a calf strain. And we see how last year the Lakers kind of slow walked Anthony Davis. Although we know the stakes are different, the stakes are higher right now. I just feel like long term, the Mavericks know they can't afford to go a whole season without Luka, so they might bite the bullet and maybe just kind of sit this one out and see what they can do with the team they have now. And I also feel like this is where Jalen Brunson is going to earn his contract in the summer. He's just to be able to will the Mavericks last night to victory with 40 points. I definitely didn't expect that. I didn't see it coming, but I'll take Utah maybe in 6 games because the Mavericks definitely won't just roll over and lose. I feel like they're going to put up a fight. So it can go 6 games, I think, without Luka. But if Luka somehow comes back for this series, like you said, the Mavericks can definitely win it. Even with like a 70% healthy Luka, they can win it.
Absolutely. I mean, the games have been close, both games already, and it's like Luka ain't even played yet. So it's like if you got an extra guy coming in averaging 30 and like 8 and 8, like I mean, that's a game changer right there. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So, definitely look out. I can't really say how many games just because Luka's not. We don't know when Luka's coming back. So whenever he comes back, I can actually say how many games. But next we got the Pelicans and the Suns. Again, get your brooms out. I feel like it's going to be a good amount of sweeps here in this first round. So I'm gonna go ahead and say sweep. I got Phoenix.
Yeah, no need to waste any breath here, Phoenix.
Exactly. All right, to the Eastern Conference we go. We got the Brooklyn Nets and the Celtics, man. Crazy ending the other night. I think that meme of KD like standing at the free throw line is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
That man was out of it that game. I can't even hold you, bro. But yeah, Boston's up 1-0. How do you feel about this series?
I like we said all year, Brooklyn is dangerous offensively. Their problem always comes down to the defensive end. Boston, you gotta give them their props. They really stood tall because Brooklyn made a ferocious comeback. Kyrie was unconscious in the fourth quarter. I thought ultimately Brooklyn was going to win that game, but what hurt them was Kyrie. I feel like letting the crowd get to him in those final moments. He wanted to hit that final shot, kind of like that FU game winner type of thing. And he dribbled himself into a trap, and then it led to them losing. But I feel like there's no way Brooklyn loses game 2. They're too talented, especially with Kevin Durant and Kyrie. I'm gonna take Brooklyn in this series, man. I'm gonna take Brooklyn in this series. I'll say in 7 games though. This series is going 7. This is gonna be a gritty series. Anybody can win it. But I just feel like at the end of the day, when you have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, it's hard to go against you.
All right. I'm gonna go with the Celtics here, man. I'm gonna go with the Celtics in 7. Just because I don't believe in the Brooklyn Nets defense, honestly. You know, they have all the offense in the world, man, and I feel like they at times they kind of lean on that when they're on defense, and they're like, you know, even if the other team scores, we can come down and get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. We could always score type mentality, but I don't know if you can have that really in the playoffs. So, you know, as much as I trust their talent and all of that, man, I think it's gonna come down to defense and the others. And I don't think outside of Kyrie and KD, there's really anybody that's great. Patty Mills is pretty good though. I'm gonna take Patty.
I would say Steph. I would put Steph Curry in there.
Put Steph Curry in there too. I mean, he's more of like he's gonna play off of them though, you know, because obviously they're gonna get their looks before anybody else. So it's just about if they're able to get shots around those two, and if they can play some defense. Biggest guy they got is Nick Claxton. So
I feel like this is also on Steve Nash too. Just add a little point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You got Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge on the bench, and Boston's killing you in the paint. You got to at least put in one of those guys with Claxton in there. Like you could put in Blake Griffin and Claxton off the bench while you don't have Drummond in the game. I feel like, but
yeah.
So coaching definitely plays a factor in this as well. But that's the coach they wanted, so they got to live with it.
Agreed. That's a great point you made, and I heard another point talking about Steve Nash, how basically it's like it's Kyrie turn and then it's KD turn. Nobody really gets any plays run for him. There's no like off ball actions like handoffs, anything like that. It's just kind of like ISO ball. So another thing to watch out for Steve Nash and the Brooklyn Nets. Next we got the Bulls and the Milwaukee Bucks. Sweet, get your brooms out. Here we go. Another sweep I got. Milwaukee all the way.
I feel like the Bulls put up their best shot in Game 1. I was honestly surprised Game 1 was that close.
Yeah.
But The Bulls got a solid team. It sucks that Lonzo got hurt. I'll take the Bulls not the Bulls. I'm tripping. The Bucks in 5 games. The Bucks in 5 games. I feel like Chicago's gonna get one at home. Their home crowd will probably get them a little rowdy. If they lose game 2, I feel like game 3 will be the game they would win in this series to avoid getting swept. But I say Bucks in 5.
I agree. I just think they've had so many injuries and not a lot of time together. So I'm sweet for that one.
Yeah.
Next, we got Philly and Toronto. I thought Toronto was going to come out a lot more aggressive. Like the last game in the first quarter, they came out like I thought they were going to
extremely aggressive.
First game, which is not how they played at all. They look completely different. It's like Harden had 14 points on 3 of 9 shooting, 6 assists on 5 turnovers. If you don't win that game, you're not going to win a game in this series. So I'm gonna rock with the Sixers. I'm gonna go with another sweep.
Yeah, I'm thinking sweep here as well. Toronto's dealing with a lot of injuries now. I think they're starting to pile up. It really sucks to not have Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
Thaddeus Young is not as big of a loss, but still, you're missing a body there. It's just tough. It's just tough. The Raptors, they had a great season, but they have no answer for Joel Embiid inside. If it's not at the foul line, they just simply can't check him. And Tyrese Maxey has been unguardable as well this series. So those two have really been carrying Philadelphia. And Tobias Harris, got to give him his credit as well. This is all without James Harden not doing really a thing in this series. So there's no shot that the Raptors beat them.
Gotcha. All right. So last series we have to talk about before we move on to the conference semis. We got Miami and the Atlanta Hawks. They're about to play in like an hour or two, man. You already know who I'm rocking with. Miami. Tyler Hero didn't even have a good game last game, but we also didn't play Victor Oladipo, Markieff Morris, the better of the Martin twins. I think it's Caleb. So it's like those are 3 rotational guys that would play on anybody's team, anybody's like roster in the playoffs. They would be like one of the top people off the bench, and they didn't even play for us the other night. And we blew out Atlanta by a lot. Trae Young had his worst game of his career, I believe. And yeah, I'm gonna say 5 because I am a Trae Young fan at the end of the day, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do this, especially without Clint Capella, man. When Clint Capella went down, that's kind of when I was like, it's going to be kind of easy for us, honestly, because they don't really have anybody that can. I feel like if Trey has that somebody in the dunker spot that he can throw that lob to, you know what I'm saying? It makes him way more dangerous because you got to come out and guard the floaters and all that he does. But without having that lob threat, it's kind of easier to guard him. So what do you think about that series?
Yeah, definitely. With John Collins just coming back from injury and then no Clint Capella, this was already a tough series for Atlanta to win with those guys like fully healthy and in the lineup. So to have John Collins obviously hobbled, as you can see on the court, and then to not have Clint Capella at all. And then on top of that, to not have Trae Young hitting shots, that spells disaster for Atlanta. Kudos to them for fighting hard and making it into the playoffs, but Miami's beating them in 5 games. 6 if Trae Young goes just bonkers.
Yeah. That's what I said in the group chat. I'm like, if Trae Young go ballistic, I say 6.
But right now I have Miami in 5. Their defense is just too ferocious and they have too many shooters.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. Let's move on. Let me get back to the first side of the bracket. All right, so it would then be Golden State versus either Memphis or Minnesota. So let's talk about Memphis first. If Golden State plays Memphis, who do you have in that series?
I would take Golden State in 6 games.
Okay.
I just feel like the experience would come through clutch right there. And when you have when you have a lineup you can put on the court of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and now Jordan Poole, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. And I feel like Golden State is also one of the deepest teams in the playoffs. Their bench is very solid, and this is without them playing Kuminga or not really. They haven't really been giving Gary Payton too many heavy minutes. So, I mean, and they have Otto Porter as well. So the Warriors have a deep bench on top of their already veteran championship experience. So I would take the Warriors in that series in 6 games.
I'm agree with that. Not really much to say there for me. I already think Memphis doesn't have a good enough team to beat Minnesota, so I definitely don't think they got a good enough team to beat the Golden State Warriors. But what if they play the Timberwolves? Does anything change for you? Same thing.
Probably 5 games instead of 6.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, 5 games because the Warriors, they don't really have a threat inside to check Karl-Anthony Towns, but sometimes he gets too reliant on the 3 ball. But I still take Golden State to win that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Golden State in 5 in that situation. So next we will have the who you had. It's hard to say because Luka's gonna be out, but
Yeah,
he's gonna
I
be
say
Phoenix.
Utah because I don't know if he gonna be back.
All right, cool. So we'll just do the Jazz, and I'm gonna say Phoenix versus the Jazz. Who you got there?
I say Phoenix in five games, 6 games. Phoenix is just. I feel like they're just a locomotive that's just on a destruction path right now. At home, they're damn near unbeatable, and then on the road, they're a very solid team with leadership and experience. And then they have the bodies to match up inside with Gobert. So Gobert's kind of canceled out in that series, and then they have the defenders to guard Donovan Mitchell with Mikal Bridges, Crowder, and then you still got Cam Johnson, campaign. So Phoenix is a really good, solid, deep basketball team. I don't really see anybody besides Golden State that could stand in their way, and of course, a team out of the East maybe.
Yeah, I can't help but agree, man. I think the Suns might honestly sweep the Jazz. To be honest with you, and then that might just be the end of Donovan Mitchell on the Jazz, man.
That's possible.
It's very possible. But let's move on to the East. It would be Milwaukee versus. I have the Celtics. You have the Nets. So we're gonna say Milwaukee versus the Celtics first. How would you feel about that series?
I would take Milwaukee in that one, and that's another like 6 to 7 game series right there for Boston. That's going to be a grind out series because Boston they have something a lot of teams don't have. They have multiple people that can guard and defend Giannis. If Robert Williams is back, you got Williams, you got Jason Tatum, you got. I mean, sometimes they even put Marcus Smart on them. You know, like Boston has they got Grant Williams, so they got options. They got a very versatile defense. And the problem for Milwaukee most times in the playoff boils down to what is Chris Middleton going to do. So I feel like there's going to be a few games in there he doesn't show up. And Boston's a very good team, so I can see that one going 6 to 7 games. But I feel like in the end, Giannis just edges them out, and Milwaukee wins that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Milwaukee in 7 in that scenario. If Robert Williams is back, that's gonna be a great series to watch.
Yeah,
Oh, geez.
yeah.
So I will be tuned in if that's the series. But I mean, I'm gonna also be tuned in if it's Milwaukee versus the Nets, which is the other option here. I'm gonna say Milwaukee in 6, just because the Nets can't guard anybody, and if there's anybody that you need somebody to like keep tabs on, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
It's that man. Somebody got to put a body on that man, and there's nobody I trust on the Nets to do that. So I'm gonna rock the Bucks in 6. How you feel about that?
I definitely agree. The Nets' main problem is their interior defense,
Right.
and Giannis' best attribute is his finishing ability and his way to just get to the paint at will and just dominate and dunk on you. So,
Right.
Your biggest weakness is somebody's biggest strength. It's hard to see you winning that.
Exactly. I definitely like that. Next up, it'll be the Heat versus the Sixers. I can't wait for this one to happen personally. I got Heat in 6 or 7. How do you feel about that? I have an explanation too. I just want to hear what you got to say first.
I really feel like it depends on what James Harden comes to play. If it's the James Harden we're seeing that end of the regular season in this first round series, I agree with you on Miami. But if James Harden can just do not even Houston James Harden number, just like Brooklyn James Harden's number, 25 and 10, I would take the Sixers. I feel like Embiid is just that dominant in the paint. And the way he gets to the foul line and knocks down free throws too is ridiculous. And then the way Maxey has upped his game to another level, I feel like the Sixers at that point will have too many bucket getters. But I would take Philly in 7 in that one. It'll go 6 to 7 games.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be a long series. Definitely a find out series as well. I just think that Harden, man, is not that great this year, honestly, and they need Harden to be pretty damn good, and he just hasn't really been that. And I think if anybody can really put a body on that man, really make that man uncomfortable, it's the Miami Heat. Kyle Lowry, we got Kyle Lowry to guard that man. We have PJ Tucker we can put on that man. We have Jimmy Butler we can put on that man. We have Bam Adebayo we can put on that man. That's just the starting lineup. Caleb Martin would actually be pretty good on him. If we played James Harden, I believe 94 feet, or at least picked him up at half, I think he would be very uncomfortable, turn the ball over a lot, and be that Harden that we saw versus the Nets when Kyrie was up in him that one time. So it's like, I don't trust Harden in the playoffs. I just don't at this point. Like, he's been in the league 13 years. I've seen this movie before, bro. I've seen it. Against the Warriors, it's like he has them down, and they shoot 0 of 27 from the 3-point line, bro. It doesn't get worse than that. Like, I feel like he's just cursed at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna have to rock with the Heat in 6 or 7, but it's gonna be a grind out series for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. So next up, we're gonna go back down the line. So we got in the finals, the conference finals is gonna be the Bucks versus the Heat. So who you got in that one?
Bucks. I got the Bucks.
How many?
6.
6. Okay, Bucks to 6. I can deal with that. I can work with that.
Bucks and 6. I just feel like after Miami beat them that one time in the playoffs, I think that was in the bubble, right?
I think that was in the bubble. I'm not 100%. Yeah, it was in the bubble. It was in the bubble.
I just feel like after that, I kind of just like woke the Bucks up whenever they played Miami after that, because I think they played in the playoffs last year and it was what 5 games or something like
It was
that.
sweet. It was sweet.
Yeah, but the same team essentially, besides PJ Tucker just flip flopping over to Miami.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bucks in like 6.
I got the to be determined in 7 games though. In 7 games to be determined. I have to see what our offense looks like first, because I mean last year I had a built-in excuse the whole year. Kendrick Nunn is not it. I was saying that from the very beginning. We needed a real point guard. Kendrick Nunn was not it from the beginning. You can look it up in our last playoff video. I looked it up today. I said I didn't feel confident in it, bro. So now we got Kyle Lowry. We got a solid and seasoned Tyler Hero who looks like he is motivated right now. We got Victor Oladipo off the bench. I mean, we just have more weapons. And offense was the question for me last year. So not a question for me this year. We'll see what happens. I think I'm gonna say Heat in 7, bro.
Okay.
Heat in 7.
Okay.
For sure. Hey, Lexi said you ugly, bro.
Go ahead. Where you say that at, man?
He said it in the comments. I can see it. I got to figure out how to get you. I got to figure out how to get you on the page. But, next up, we got the who is it? We got the Phoenix Suns and the Warriors.
I'm going with the Warriors in 7 games. Golden State in 7. When it comes down to it, Chris Paul just always finds a way to Chris Paul in the playoffs. If he's not getting hurt, his team loses somehow, some way before they can get to the final. Well, last year they got to the finals, but they were up 2-0 and lost 4 straight. So I got Golden State, man. The Warriors they're used to this. They've been here before, so there's not much more to be said. And they actually split with Phoenix this year, with Steph missing like 3 of the 4 games they played against them. So
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rock with the Warriors in 6 or 7. I think Steph Curry just owns Chris Paul at this point, bro. I think that I don't know. Chris Paul just always finds a way to melt down at the end when he's right there. He's always at the finish line, and it's like he just can't get across. I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna rock with the Warriors. I think that both teams are very cohesive, but like I think the Warriors just have more experience. They've done it before, and I think they're even more cohesive than the Suns are, honestly. So I'm gonna rock with the Warriors in 7.
Yeah.
And that leads us to the finals. That's gonna be the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Golden State Warriors. That's gonna be actually crazy. That's gonna be a crazy finals, bro. I honestly like that pick for both of us. How do you feel about that matchup?
I'm to be determined on who the winner of that series will be.
Okay.
That's as close as you can call it. The Warriors have never, I think, lost a playoff series when Steph, Clay, and Draymond all play since Steve Curry's become the coach.
Right.
Steve Curry. When they're all healthy, I don't think they've lost a playoff series. It's just no way. It's no way to tell who's going to win this series, because on the same side, Giannis he's been pushing through these last couple of years, and he's a force to be reckoned with. It's hard to go against Milwaukee as well, so that's get your popcorn ready television right there. That's the best way to put it. That's get your popcorn ready television. That's the only way to describe it.
I love the matchups, bro. I can't lie to you. I love Steph and Drew Holiday, the best on defense and one of the best on offense. We got Chris Middleton. We got Klay Thompson, both bucket getters. That's what they do. We got – who's their 3?
Wiggins. Have a good one. Wiggins and
Not the Bucks 3. I'm trying
Oh,
to think.
probably Chris Middleton.
So who there two? Grayson Allen?
Yeah.
Probably Grayson Allen. Okay, never mind. Grayson Allen and Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson wins that one. But Chris Middleton and Andrew Wiggins, I'm going to go Chris Middleton on that one. But, I mean, Andrew Wiggins got the defense. Another good matchup. And then Giannis and Draymond Green, top 2 on defense right there. And then you got Brook Lopez and whoever the center is for the Warriors.
I think Looney, but that kind of washed. It's when you get to the bench. So I don't think the Bucks have anybody off the bench that can match what Golden State could bring off the bench in terms of points. Poole can score 40 points off the bench.
That's facts. That's fact. I mean, yeah, no, you're right. There's nobody off the bench I really trust. They got Javon Carter though. They got some good defenders and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna be. They got good defenders to match the offense. So it's like that's gonna be a really good series.
Hopefully that is the matchup. That'll be.
I can see that. I'm calling it right now. You know, I'm gonna call it right now. This is the Got Next podcast official predictions, man. We got the Warriors and the Bucks in the finals. I'm gonna rock with the Wolves. To be determined. We'll talk about it later. Okay. We'll talk about that in another episode. But is there anything else you want to say, bro? Before we
man. I'm liking the new format. Loving the new format for real. Hopefully, people come on and comment. Yeah. Not any ignorance or coonery like Langston just tried to put on, but something of substance, something that actually helps us. And
yeah, facts though, for sure. Thank y'all for watching, man. I seen a few viewers coming in and out. We didn't really advertise this or anything like that. Just wanted to see what the new
moment
look like. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate y'all for watching and all of that. Hey, Langston said he messed with the live. I appreciate that, bro. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff, man. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on TikTok, all that type of stuff. Yeah, we're gonna see y'all later. Enjoy the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Peace, bro.